Hi, my name is George Morelos. I'm a local lender in Southern California and have been for the last 20 years. As a certified mortgage advisor, my goal here today is to provide you with the requirements on FHA financing. FHA financing, simply put, it's one of the easiest loan programs to qualify for when securing a mortgage. Now, FHA is not a lender. So while some of these requirements seem very lenient, you also need to make sure and discuss with your lender what their requirements are. FHA requires a 580 credit score. If you have a 580 credit score, you only have to put 3.5% down. If your credit score is below that, as long as you put a down payment over 10%, you're eligible for FHA financing. The majority of lenders, especially under COVID-19 circumstances, are requiring higher credit scores. Most of them in the 600s, some of them in the 700s. So it's a conversation that needs to be very transparent with your lender as to what their requirements are so you're not doing multiple applications. In regards to derogatory items on your credit, FHA is also the most lenient. If you had a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, they allow you to do this after 1 year, a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 11 after 2 years, and a foreclosure and a short sale after 3 years. There are shorter waiting periods if you've had extenuating circumstances and you're able to document it. Now, the way that FHA insures lenders is by requiring you to pay mortgage insurance. This mortgage insurance is paid monthly and upfront. The upfront premium is usually financed into your loan, and the monthly is paid for the life of the loan. The only way to get rid of the mortgage insurance is by refinancing your loan, unless your down payment is more than the minimum requirement. Usually you have to put at least 10% down and meet the equity established requirements to get rid of it without having to refinance. Another key factor to let your lender know is whether you're single or whether you're married. It is a key distinction with FHA where your non-purchasing spouse's debt are considered against the primary borrower. So if Mary and John are married, and Mary has $500 in debt, but Mary is not going on the loan, Mary's debt is considered against John and his debt to income ratio. What is a debt to income ratio? Debt to income ratio is the amount of money going out compared to the amount of money coming in as a percentage. So FHA, with an automated approval, which is the easiest approval to qualify, allows you to go to 56% on the back end, 46% on the front end. But if you have disputed accounts on your credit, over $1,000, not including medical, it's going to take you from an automated approval to a manual approval, which is going to reduce your purchasing power by about $100,000 to $150,000. It's a key thing that you want to review with your lender. You want to ask them, do I have disputed accounts on my credit? Because it could change your purchasing price by $100,000 to $150,000. If you have collections on your credit, not including medical, over $2,000, your lender will also calculate a 5% payment on that balance against your debt to income ratio. As far as charge-offs are concerned, they're really not considered. And if you have federal delinquent debt, as long as you have a payment agreement, you're still eligible for financing. Otherwise, you must pay it off. The same applies for judgments. Now, when you're looking at the type of properties to secure an FHA loan using a 203B, which is the one that we're discussing today, you're able to finance 1 to 4 unit properties. And you only need 3.5% down. But you want to let your lender know the type of property you're buying because the loan amount will be limited by the type of property and the county that you're buying in. If you're buying 2 to 4 units, there are additional self-sufficiency tests that your lender must review along with your qualifications to make sure that you're eligible for financing. When you're buying in Riverside County compared to LA County, the difference between loan amounts is substantial. It's almost $400,000. So while in LA County you may be approved for $700,000, in Riverside County, although you can qualify for it, you meet the debt to income ratio requirements, FHA will not insure your financing because they establish loan limits based on counties. You're also able to purchase a condo as long as it's FHA approved, a townhome, a planned unit development, and a manufactured house on a permanent foundation as long as it meets certain age and size requirements. Now, if you're buying a condo and it's not FHA approved, your lender has the ability to approve the single unit itself or the entire complex. Most FHA transactions are taking 30 to 45 days with most lenders. Some lenders can close in shorter timeframes. But if you are doing a condo to approve a single unit or the entire complex, anticipate longer escrows because your lender has to approve them. And usually it's going to take 60 to 90 days. You must be 18 years old, have citizenship, be a permanent resident, or have a valid work permit with the ability to work here legally with a social security number. If you have an ITIN, you do not qualify for FHA financing. And if you have a work permit under DACA, you do not qualify for FHA financing, although there are other programs that may be available to you. Down payment assistance can also be used with FHA financing. There are other loans available with FHA, like an FHA 203K, an FHA energy efficient mortgage. So the one we're discussing today, again, is an FHA 203B, but there are many other available financing options under FHA, and you certainly want to discuss those with your lender. Again, FHA is one of the most lenient programs when securing a mortgage. We can't go through all of the details that FHA requires because there's multiple layers, whether it's FHA or the lender that you're working with. But in the description below, we put a brief history of FHA, some of the basic requirements that you'll need, and links to resources that you may find useful. I hope that you enjoy the information that we provided, and if you did, hit the like button. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave us a comment, and certainly subscribe for future videos. My name is George Merlos. I appreciate your time. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll talk to you soon.